In this episode, our Katharina Bertolino and Ken Faught test an impressive 518 horsepower Land Rover Defender 110. Then we head to the desert with Rottweiler Performance to ride a bunch of KTM 890 adventure bikes. We wrap things up with a test of Honda's most popular performance UTV at King of the Hammers. It's all coming up next on Off-Road Travel TV.
Presented by Beta, the official motorcycle of Off-Road Travel TV.
We have a thing for adventure bikes, and the legendary KTM 890 is one of the best. Our Ken Faught recently had a chance to hit the trails with Chris Parker of Rottweiler Performance and Randy Commons of Off-Road Underground to test a modified version of this machine.
There are a variety of things that can be modified on motorcycles like these. Everyone has their own priorities, whether it's increased rider comfort, assist with navigation, increased durability, enhanced performance, add lighting, reduce weight, and so on. Chris Parker and his company Rottweiler Performance is perhaps the best known and most respected adventure bike builder in the United States.
I think adventure motorcycles are my favorite form of off-road riding because they're the most versatile. I think they're the most versatile type of travel because you can get over things that you can't get over with a car. You can get between trees that you can't get between with a vehicle, with a larger vehicle. Now there's advantages and disadvantages, just like small bikes versus large bikes, motorcycles versus large vehicles. It's kind of pick your poison. But for me, I like being out in the air. I like the smells, the temperatures. I like to feel what's going on. I like the danger of it sometimes, the risk factor of it. And I think that really attracts me to adventure motorcycles. So I focus a lot of my attention on the 890 because I think it's a great platform that obviously could need some improvement. So we all know that these bikes come at a certain price point, and we know that the bean counters are limiting the engineers as to how they can design these things. We know they can design a perfect motorcycle, but that motorcycle is probably either a MotoGP bike or a rally bike, and those are very, very expensive. So being that they hit a certain price point, this allows people to step in and decide how they want to personalize that motorcycle for themselves and to make it work better for themselves. So we focus on protecting the motorcycle, whether it be protecting the intake system, which also by default adds quite a bit of horsepower, or protecting the motorcycle with skid pans or master cylinder guards and things like that. So I think the 890 is a really good platform because it's a great middleweight contender. It's got the power that you want, but they've gotten the weight really low with this low slung fuel tank, and they handle just phenomenally well, and they've been very, very popular, and we've had great success with this model. So the modifications we've done to this bike to improve handling involve a lot of different companies. So as far as our company is concerned, we have a single-sided disc brake that we do that reduces unsprung weight by 7 pounds. So it basically removes one caliper and one brake rotor, so it allows the suspension to move faster and more accurately. It also allows the bike to roll and stop quicker. Other modifications are solid performance suspension modifications. So this has been raised up a little bit. So this is basically pro component suspension. It's pretty much the best you can get, and we had solid performance do all the valving on this. The bike just handles phenomenally well. If you come off a ledge or a jump, it just flies straight. Nothing ever really surprises you. So suspension is very important. In the handling department, there's obviously some ergonomic choices, handlebars, things like that. It's a very personal item. But we have our triple clamps here, our billet triple clamps from Rottweiler Performance, and then we pair that with a Scott's damper. Dampers are pretty much a must on these bikes. They make a good rider better, and a better rider an even better rider. We use steering dampers for sure. We definitely don't go off-road without those things. And then the rest is just ergonomics. We've got some titanium foot pegs, Raptor foot pegs there. Modifications we've done to this bike for engine performance, in order, it's intake system, the engine, and then the exhaust. And so on the intake side is our bespoke intake system. It's a very popular product. Not only does it increase horsepower by about 10 horsepower to the rear tire, but it also filters much better. You have crushable filters that you can carry with you in the side pods, and you can replace them on the trail very easily. On the engine management side, we've used the Power Commander 6, so we basically reprogram. It's a piggyback system, and we reprogram the mapping to basically run at a 13.2 air-fuel ratio. Stock, they're very lean and lethargic. They don't make nearly as much horsepower as they're capable of. So shooting for a 13.2 air-fuel ratio really makes these things come alive and run a lot healthier and run cooler. And then on the exhaust side, on this we have a titanium Tecmo header, and we have an Aero decat system, and then we have an Aero muffler here. So that basically frees up the system, focuses more of the power on the low and mid range, which is where you want it on an adventure bike, and it also lightens the bike quite a bit and makes it sound awesome. So another item that we created for this bike is our Enduro cell, which we're quite proud of. It's a unique design, and it fits in the subframe here. It only works with our intake system. Our intake was designed with that in mind. And basically, it adds 1.8 gallons to the rear end of this in space that you wouldn't normally be able to put anything into. So that puts the fuel level on this bike close to a BMW GS 1250. So now you've got 7 gallons on this bike, and you have less range anxiety with this product.
There's a lot of perfect bikes out there, and I've settled in the adventure category, but you can build bikes very specific to be perfect, but they do very specific things. So it's not about being a perfect bike, it's being a bike that does what you want it to do and then dialing it in. And this size bike and this very similar setup is probably my ultimate adventure bike.
So what do we have invested in this bike? I would probably say over the stock sticker price is probably around $10,000 to $12,000 in parts. Now, that's not too bad considering we raced a bike in the Sonora Rally with pretty much the exact same group of parts, maybe some extra stuff and some navigation accessories up here, like a roll chart and things like that. But we took one of these and competed in the Sonora Rally, and we were 9 seconds out of 3rd overall behind Ricky Brabeck and Skylar Howes on one of these platforms. So if that doesn't tell you how capable these things are for not a very expensive price, I don't know what does.
Almost every time I ride a motorcycle, one of the first things I ask myself is, what would I improve on the bike? What did I not like about a particular machine? And in this case, I struggled to be able to answer that question because everything seemed to be substantially improved. It was a good all-around package. Suspension felt really good. The tires were good for what we were riding on. We rode a combination of asphalt and then a lot of soft terrain. So we were in a lot of sand, a lot of small loose rocks and different things, but there's nothing right now that I could think of that I would change on this bike.
The coolest piece of new technology to hit motorcycle and ATV riding in the last 5 years is Alpinestar Tech Air off-road airbag system. This is the world's first dedicated off-road airbag system and offers 3 different riding modes. It has one for enduro, one for rally, and one for street. It features 3 accelerometers and 3 gyroscopes that can inflate in an average of 52 milliseconds, depending on the size of the airbags. It covers the chest, back, shoulders, and neck, and it represents the state of the art. This is about as high-tech as it gets, and we applaud Alpinestars for investing in rider protection. The Tech Air off-road airbag system uses 2 computer-controlled gas canisters in this compartment. The attention to detail on the safety device is incredible, and it's designed to fit snugly against the body. It's important to know that riders will need to go up in size on the jersey and jackets they wear, not only for the added size, but it helps the airbag to fully deploy without restriction. This system also replaces any shoulder pads that riders wear. The system costs about $1,000 from websites like Revzilla, and each canister can be repacked for about $100 each, or both canisters and the bladder for $300. The rechargeable battery lasts about 30 hours and can be monitored by a simple phone app. We'll see you out on the trail.
There's never been more choices of cool products to enhance your off-road experience, and we want to point out a few of our favorites. The first are these Lucid Zip-Off goggles from EKS brand. These feature a special 45mm clear film that runs across the lens that allows vision to be cleared by the simple pull of a string. You see, there's a supply of film on one side that can clear the vision up to 45 times before the film runs out. This operates off the same principle as film cameras. The film can be replaced, and the entire setup costs about $50 without the goggles or $130 with goggles. We've been using systems like this in muddy conditions for years. When conditions are really muddy, we sometimes use electrical tape to attach a single tear-off to the outside over the zip-offs. A tear-off is simply a clear piece of plastic designed to be discarded when it gets dirty. One of our favorite pieces of travel equipment are these camera bags by Lowepro. Some of our crew members have been using them for nearly 10 years and appreciate their attention to detail and innovative design. We use them for everything from dirt bike riding to carry-on items when we are doing international travel. They offer excellent protection of expensive equipment, easy access, and impressive durability. The final is a hotbox camper from 2Track Nation. This is an ultra high-end diesel heater that comes in 2 models for vehicles and tents. It produces 7,500 BTU, has silent operation, and is suitable for operation in as low as -51 degrees. It features an all-aluminum marine-grade case made by Zargus, an easy start controller, and programmable thermostat. It recirculates air and has been designed to be externally mounted.
Land Rover has a rich history in extreme off-road, dating back almost a half a century to the Camel Trophy competition. Fast forward to today, and Land Rover offers 3 lines of impressive machines, and one of our favorites is the Defender 110 V8. Our own Ken Faught and Katharina Bertolino recently got to test one on the West Coast, and it made for one incredibly fun adventure.
A few years ago, I was working with a company and we took a bunch of Jeeps on 48-inch tires to Moab, and in the middle of the backcountry, we found this teenager wheeling his family around in a Land Rover. That's when I really got intrigued by the overall design. The new model boasts a powerful supercharged 518 horsepower with 461 foot-pounds of torque. It's an elegant beast that has a unique blend of style and function and a personality all its own.
I've owned Land Rovers, so I really appreciate their quality. My daily driver is a Land Rover, so I really know these cars well. And this test hits me a little different than some of our others. Its high quality and the fit and finish are exactly what you would expect from a company like Land Rover. I absolutely love it, and for what it's designed to do, the 110 V8 does extremely well. From a technical standpoint, the all-wheel drive machine has a lot of state-of-the-art features. The Defender 100 has adaptive cruise control, heated and cooled leather seats, a large touchscreen control system with navigation, onboard Wi-Fi, blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, and rear cross traffic alert. It also has a panoramic sunroof, multiple driving modes for off-road capability, a built-in air compressor, and a towing package capable of pulling around 8,000 pounds.
It's actually a very plush vehicle, and you wouldn't expect it to do well off-road. Its strength is actually the fact that it can crawl over a lot of amazing obstacles that you wouldn't expect it to be able to. We actually wouldn't do too much. To us, this is a good daily driver that is fun to take off-road maybe 5 to 10% of the time. It's just too expensive to want to modify with things like permanent lights, custom armor, and other items that you would find in an off-road or overland build. There are less expensive base model vehicles that would be better suited and less expensive to modify. If this were our vehicle, we would leave it stock, and if we wanted to go camping or overlanding, we would take a portable electronic refrigerator, portable power unit, ground tent, some high-powered portable lights, and create an adventure. So my favorite features on this vehicle is actually a toss-up. It's between the power. I absolutely love the 518 horsepower motor. And the other thing is the adjustable ride height. You can lower the suspension a couple inches when you're driving on the street using it as a daily driver, but when you're going off-road, you can actually raise it 3 inches, which allows you to climb over obstacles with a lot more ease. I also like the fact that this model has 10 different drive modes that changes everything from how the suspension reacts to traction control, and it's called Terrain Response 2 system. The modes include Dynamic, Eco, Sand, Rock Crawl, Comfort, Grass, Gravel, and Snow, Auto, Wade, Mud and Ruts, and another one that's fully configurable.
Oh yeah, I love the acceleration of this Defender. It reminds me of a sports car even though it weighs over 5,300 pounds. The performance is incredible, which makes it a lot of fun to drive in manual mode. I was also really impressed with the all-wheel drive system and how well the computer does at controlling which wheel gets power. I drove a lot in moderately deep sand and it gave me a lot of confidence. This is where you can really see the advantages.
I love the fact that it looks like a sleeper car. By that, I mean it doesn't look like a performance car from the inside, but when you look under the hood or step on the gas pedal, anyone watching will know there's something special about this machine.
To me, this car is for someone that drives about 90% on the streets but wants something very capable off-road. Something that is sporty but can let you drive over tricky terrain while allowing you to have a lot of fun doing it. This car is perfect for all weather, and based on our experience with the all-wheel drive, it would do very well in snow and ice. The computerized setup is really that incredible.
The 110 is a lot of fun to drive on two-track roads. The interior is so nice and it handles so well that I found myself battling with Katharina as to who gets to drive. It reminds me of the same excitement I got when I bought my first Porsche Twin Turbo. I just wanted to go driving a lot more because it was so much fun. This is a type of car that motivates you to find more places to explore because it's just an amazing all-around machine. It reminded me of how much fun I liked driving when I first got my driver's license as a teenager and would try to find any excuse to run errands. In this case, it wasn't errands, it was exploring trails that neither Katharina or I had been on before.
The V8 110 is an incredible all-around machine in so many ways. This interior is fantastic, the power is impressive, and its electronic-controlled all-wheel drive is spectacular. It's a pure winner in my book. We'll see you on the trail.
Dollar for dollar, there isn't an off-road vehicle that offers more performance and a higher fun factor than a UTV. Simply put, side-by-sides are incredible, and their rise in popularity has been nothing short of astonishing. They are one of our favorite machines to drive, and we can't get enough of them. Our own Ken and Wyatt Faught recently met up with UTVOffroad.com Brad Howe and crew to test a couple of new Talons from Honda. Howe is one of the most knowledgeable journalists in this niche, and his opinion is highly sought after.
The 3 UTVs we're testing today are all from Honda. It is their Talon 1000R lineup. We have a 4-seat version, which is also an R and has live valve suspension. We have 2 2-seat R versions. One's a live valve and one is a new Showa base model version.
Fox's live valve suspension is designed to improve overall performance, control, and ride quality. It's been created to reduce body roll, improve resistance to bottoming, and offer a better overall ride. It's a semi-active design that electronically adjusts the compression damping at each wheel. The computer-controlled system has several modes that switch between various algorithms and take feedback from several sensors thanks to a high-tech real-time data acquisition system.
The only differences between the 2 and 4-seater, either live valve or Showa shocks, is the wheelbase, and that's it. You have 2 extra seats in the rear for extra passengers, and a lot of the people don't want to take 2 people in the back, but all that extra storage space.
The Hondas have a really nice trim package, even at the base level. The interior is very comfortable. All the touch surfaces are nicely pointed. You don't find a lot of hard edges and things digging into you when you drive it. There's lots of storage inside. All of the plastics and panels fit together really well. I think in terms of fit and finish, Honda is still at the top of their game in terms of what UTVs are offering these days. The hardware on the car, if you look at just the nuts and bolts and fasteners for stuff that you're going to be taking on and off the car as you own it to service it, they are robust. They're a nice plated hardware or a painted hardware, so they're not going to have issues with rust and corrosion. And I think the way that the panels and everything fit together, the way the doors close, it gives off a nice feeling of quality. I think what I like most about the Honda Talon is a couple of things. It's a package of the Honda reliability, the fit and finish, the ease of driving it in different technical terrains. Smoothness of the transmission is a big thing for me. The shifts are very streamlined and smoothed out, so you don't get a lot of power interruption. And it's also just very pleasant to drive across a variety of terrains.
So my favorite part about the Talons is the fit and finish and the reliability. I know I sound like a broken record, but these things are bulletproof. The fact that they take out a CVT and replace it with the dual clutch transmission, it is a really reliable platform that performs. That means you can have a lot of fun and you don't have to worry about snapping belts. I really like it.
The 4-seater's a little bit slower to turn in. The 2-seater will react a little quicker, a little bit more precise steering response. It's also a little quicker to make a front and back motion over whoops and bumps and things like that. So the 4-seater does smooth out some of the bigger holes versus the 2-seater. But with as much suspension travel as they have and the shock tuning, there's a lot of capability built into both machines. So really you don't give up a whole lot by adding those 2 extra passengers. You still keep a lot of the sport performance. You just don't get quite as much of the kind of tight, low-speed turning agility with the 4-seater versus the 2-seater. In terms of the engine, I think it's a really, really good package from the factory. May not be the most powerful 1000cc sport machine that you can buy or the fastest, but it is probably among the best in terms of throttle response and smoothness. The transmission is a very, very well-behaved transmission too. I would say if I was gonna go into power additions or power mods for this thing, I would definitely look first towards the Jackson Racing, the Honda factory turbo kit that they offer through their dealers. We've driven a couple of those cars and it kind of just highlights everything that the Talon's good at and adds quite a bit more speed in there too. So if it was my choice, I would take the black Showa equipped car, kind of the base model, if you will. I found that suspension tune was very close in performance to the live valve, even if it does give up a little bit of comfort. But I would use the extra money there to maybe change some tires, put some accessories on the car. I really like the way that the planted feeling and the traction driving forward that the Showa package gives you. Feels like, especially over the rough, uneven stuff, it sticks the tires to the ground really well. And I think they've kind of nailed that side of the shock tune pretty well in the base model.
If I had the choice between these 3 vehicles, normally in tighter trails, I would go with the Showa 2-seater. I like to tinker with suspension, and it's fun messing with compression while you're out on the trail. Johnson Valley specifically, I would go with the 4-seater, and I would even go with the live valve version. The wheelbase on the 4-seater makes it a lot more smoother and comfortable in the whoops, and having the live valve, you go from high-speed whoop sections and all of a sudden you'll dive down into rocky stuff where you want to go into comfort mode, and it's easy just to click the switch and you're there. You got softer suspension and you're cruising through.
Dollar for dollar, the Honda Talon is a very strong value. You get the Honda reliability, you get a massive dealer network with a lot of parts support in pretty much every area that you can imagine. I would say in terms of value, the Talon is up there probably in the top 3 in the market.